Hi Pisces, welcome. Oh, that was my oven. I'm making a sweet potato. There it is. That was my oven. Welcome to your, that was like the ringing of the bell. Welcome to your March reading. So glad you guys are back with me. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking and commenting on the video as well. Really appreciate that. That would be great. Really quick before we get into the astrology, I do have the Mastering Detachment workshop coming up on March 1st. And since we're coming into a much more healing time for all of us, which we're going to talk about in a minute, since we're coming into that, this Mastering Detachment class or workshop will really help if you are searching for closure. If you really want to let go of past relationships, past hurt, if you're having a hard time releasing expectations for the future, if you're really finding it difficult to find closure when there wasn't closure in a relationship, this class is definitely going to be for you. We're going to work on feeling really good so that we can manifest a life of joy and abundance instead of pain and heartache. We don't want to do that anymore. We're coming out of that time. So that class is on March 1st. I'm also offering a new Akashic astrology reading. It's an Akashic Records reading where we look at your natal birth chart and we look at where past life energy is coming from, healing energy is coming from. We just look at certain points and aspects, and then we clear that energy out of your chart so that you can feel a little bit more open and less restrictive in moving forward in your journey. So all of that information is on my website, fearlessintuition.net, or in the description box below if you are interested. All right, Pisces, so moving into astrology, we are coming into a time of great healing for everybody. It's been so difficult with all of the Aquarius energy and the Taurus energy squaring off with each other. I've described it as feeling like we've been in a desert, really parched with that fixed earth and with the fixed air. So it's nice, like when that Pisces, when that Pisces sun came in and just started like washing all of the emotions away, right? And the Mercury retrograde even was really difficult. And remember, we're still going to be in that post-shadow period the first 2 weeks of March, or actually for the first week of March. So for the last week of February and the first week of March, we'll be in that post-shadow period of Mercury retrograde. And that retrograde was tough, man. It came in and like literally was just violent for everybody and then ran away. It like took all of our innocence away from us and then like slammed the door. So here we are in your hands in Pisces season. And this is going to be it's going to be a softer month. The energies aren't going to be so harsh. And we thank you, by the way, all of us, we thank you for that, because you really are bringing a sense of healing to everybody. And that's what you do. You guys are the healers, right? You're the great healers, the 12th house, the subconscious. And after going through so much pain for this whole year, like we found out, you know, it was your season last year that we found out about, you know, the virus that has now just taken a hold of the entire world, you know. And so now as we're coming into a time where things are starting to loosen up a little bit, things aren't feeling so restrictive anymore, not so blocked anymore, and this mutable water can just like wash away all of that pain, and it can come in, and it's like, it's not an illusion. It's not a mirage in the desert. It's actually real, and we can take a hold of it. And it's going to be really nice and soft. Venus is also in Pisces right now. Mercury is moving into Pisces on the 15th. We're going to have a really sweet conjunction with Venus and Neptune on the 13th of March. And so just feeling the romantic vibes and just feeling the love and the healing processes. That's what March is really going to be all about, and allowing ourselves to do that. You know, I mean, I sort of feel like we haven't really been allowed to heal. It's just been wounding after wounding after wounding after wounding. And now finally we get to take like a breath of fresh air. We come up from the water, right? And we take a breath of fresh air after the water's washed over us and healed all of those wounds. So this is going to be, but we also have to remember too that when we are healing the wounds and when we are washing those wounds, it can be a little bit painful in the beginning, and reminding ourselves that pain is the way that, pain reminds us that we're alive. Pain reminds us that our bodies are still healing and our bodies are still working and our bodies are still creating. So, when the pain kind of smarts you in the beginning, you know what I mean by smarts you. My grandma used to say it smarts you. So when the pain's kind of shocking and it smarts you in the beginning, when you're cleaning it off with the water, cleaning that wound, just kind of take a moment of gratitude and let it just sort of sink in that those feelings and that pain means that you are here to live another day. And when we look at it in that way of like, I recognize that now it's time for me to start fresh. Now it's time for me to finally heal this and stitch up this wound and get it all cleansed, and like giving ourselves that opportunity, we can start fresh again. And you guys are definitely starting with a fresh new beginning here, possibly with an air sign. So we have the Fool was the first card that came out, you guys. Look at that. So you might be finding that the universe is asking you to trust and have a little bit of faith on certain expectations that you possibly might have coming up. So we have the Fool, we have the Queen of Swords, and we have the Knight of Cups. If the Queen of Swords is the one offering to you, it doesn't really matter whether you're the one that's offering to the Queen of Swords or the Queen of Swords is offering to you. It feels almost like an apology, or it's very heartfelt. It's very much like, I see you, I see you in all of your pain. I see you in all of your glory. I see you in all of the fear that you may be feeling, the compassion that you have, after probably a very difficult altercation. It's almost as if you're being asked to have faith that it's going to be okay, and allowing yourself to let go of, if you were a little bit too vulnerable, if you feel like you were a little bit too vulnerable. I don't think that there's a such thing as being too vulnerable, but if we don't know how to use that vulnerability to our benefit, then absolutely people can take advantage of it. And I think that, if you put yourself out there and somebody came at you in the past, or somebody came at you even very recently in the past, you could be a little bit fearful for being vulnerable again. And so I feel like there's almost an apology that's happening after a time of something that was really, really painful. But this Ten of Swords had to occur. The Ten of Swords is the ending of a cycle. Sometimes with the Ten of Swords, we tend to go to the worst possible case scenario because it's that Ten of Swords, that's not fun. It's not cute to be in this Ten of Swords state. So really allowing yourself to see that whatever, because the 10 is the completion, right? So whatever this completion had to happen, no matter how painful it was, it's really setting you up for something amazing, and even something the universe wants to give to you, right? It's really giving you this opportunity to jump forward in your dreams and to allow you to feel confident enough to do that. So we have the Ace of Wands, and then we have the Two of Wands. So I feel like this might be a decision that you're making. There's something that's being presented to you. And as this something is being presented to you, you have a decision you need to make. There's an opportunity that's coming up, and it could be a relationship. But if the fear of the past or the fear of how things have ended in the past in relationships is still sitting on the surface for you and is really, really close and is not necessarily healed quite yet, it can be a little scary and a little painful to choose love, right? And love isn't supposed to be painful. Love isn't supposed to be something that we shy away from, but we've been made to believe that love is pain, and it actually is not. Love is within pain. There is love within pain, but that's a completely, that's a totally different reading, to be quite honest, but we could talk about that all day long, actually. But for you guys, more than anything, it's to recognize that love is the healing power that you have. And when you set your intention to approach anything in life with love, and you allow to make all of your decisions based on that love that you have for yourself within, and shower that out to the world, you really can't go wrong. And this month, you guys are just getting every single opportunity to do that. So let's see. Woo. So, okay, so it looks like there's a possible new beginning with an earth sign, and maybe an apology coming from an air sign, or it's almost as if the breakup or the argument, that there's definitely an argument with the air sign, and a possible apology that could be happening. I think that the stagnancy, and this is exactly what I was talking about. So let's start with the top row before we get any further, because I don't want to get too deep into your reading without getting you into the reading, because I always get so interested. I'm like, let's just start clarifying. Okay. I'm just a nosy bitch. That's what I do. All right. So, at least I could admit my faults. The King of Pentacles on the Fool. Solid person to manifest, to be quite honest. Somebody that can really help you stay grounded. This could be a Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn energy, or it doesn't have to be a Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn sun. It could be a moon, it could be a rising, it could be a Venus, it could be a Mars. They could just have a whole bunch of earth in their chart and be an air sign, who knows, or a water sign even. But there's really this trust and feeling of contentment when it comes to this person. And I feel like the universe sort of placed this person in your life to show you that you can trust, to show you that it's not about fearing what life is, or fearing what relationships are, or fearing, interacting with other people. This air sign, however, is not very happy. So we have the Knight of Swords on the Queen of Swords. And don't get caught up in the gender. It doesn't have to be a male. It doesn't have to be a female. It's all about the energy, right? So the Queen of Swords is somebody who is very direct, very on point. She can be kind of tunnel visioned at times. And that Knight of Swords, something triggered this air sign in a really, really big way, or something triggered you to argue with this air sign in a really big way. And I feel like it made you stagnant within the creative process. It's very difficult. A lot of times I've recognized with Pisces energy that when they feel like if they've been hurt by somebody else, or they feel like they've hurt somebody else, unknowingly hurt somebody else, or you didn't do it on purpose, obviously, but there's this need for you to pause. There's this need for you with the Hanged Man, which would be your energy, and the Knight of Cups, which would be your energy, mutable water, right? So there's this need for you to pause and reflect, right? And when we're pausing and reflecting, we can kind of see the other perspectives. And it's not that I think that you need to agree with the Queen of Swords. It's not that I think that you need to agree with the aggressor, but maybe look at the situation from their point of view. Put yourself in their shoes. Maybe they had a really bad day. Maybe they were triggered by their ego earlier that morning and they were in a spiral and they couldn't get out of it. Maybe there were things that occurred where the miscommunication was so bad. I feel like this happened during Mercury retrograde, and now that we're out of Mercury retrograde and moving into a softer time of healing energy, it's resurfacing so that you can see all sides of the story, right? And there might even been that there was an earth energy that prompted that for you to be like, listen, maybe this isn't what you think it is. Maybe this is something completely different than what you thought it was, and you guys just mixed communication. Whatever it was that occurred or what happened, you're being prompted to pause. And the reason why you're being prompted to pause is it's about the detachment from it, right? And so I'm offering that Mastering Detachment class on March 1st, but let's talk about that for a minute, okay? So when we're detaching from people, we're detaching from situations and from people, that doesn't mean that we care less. That doesn't mean that we don't have an emotional connection to what's going on. Obviously we do. The detachment is about how you're allowing yourself to give your power away to the moment, to that situation, to that moment. And it's about how you are giving yourself permission to take a step back and say, okay, now this is probably a projection. Either I'm projecting onto somebody or somebody is projecting onto me, and to see the reality of what's happening. Because a lot of times when we get really, really angry or something bad happens, our egos get in charge and we don't see what's really happening. Our egos tell us they mean this, 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 even though the words didn't say any of those things or the situation didn't show you any of that stuff. But because it's happened to you in the past, it's all coming back again. Our egos are just trying to protect us, but our egos are trying to protect us literally from everything in the entire world. So we have to put it in check, right? And that's what the pause is all about, the pause and the healing, right? So let's see what this Ten of Swords is turning into, because I feel like this Ten of Swords is actually something that's going to turn into a promising moment. Oh, okay, there's that air sign. Man, you guys are having some things with air signs, aren't you? Really having to release the authority figures, that Saturn square Uranus that is still going to be hovering for a little bit, at least for the first week of March. Will still be hovering quite a bit. Oh, there you are at the bottom of the deck. That's really nice. It's nice to see you. Welcome to you showed up as the Hanged Man, but it's good to see you in form over here. At the bottom of the deck is the King of Cups. I won't even so there you are. So here we go. So here is the King of Swords on the Ten of Swords. Whatever that argument was, whatever that fight was, whatever that projection was, whatever it was that you guys couldn't get on the same page with, and you recognize, I would rather just let it go than try and fight my way into it. Whatever it was, it's the past. It's something that we can release now. And if you're having a hard time releasing that and letting go and finding closure within that detachment class is going to do wonders. It really is. Then we have you could be dealing with a Gemini energy, or even an Aquarius energy, or even both. But we do have the Lovers on the Ace of Wands. Now, yes, does the Lovers mean relationships? Absolutely. Could there be a possibility that there is a really passionate new relationship coming in, maybe with an earth sign? Absolutely. That could very well be the case for some of you. For others of you, I think that you're getting this, it's almost as if you're finding this new spark within yourself, because the Lovers isn't just about lovers. The Lovers is about your own alignment within. And it's not even necessarily that we're going to be fully aligned within this lifetime, but if you want to be aligned to your path, into your purpose, which is really what you guys are looking for right now. Two of Wands and the Star. Let's talk about these together. Because I feel like that's what this Ace of Wands is all about. It's about the journey that you're taking to your purpose and wanting to be aligned to that path. And I think that you have decisions that you need to make, and you're sort of at a crossroads. And if you have this wacky air energy all up in your business, and they're not grounding you, and they're making you feel less confident, that needs to be released. And that's why this Ten of Swords had to happen. It might not have been pretty, but it rarely is, right? I don't know who said that healing was going to be easy or what, but it's not. It's not easy. The biggest thing for you guys to remember right now is to always choose the path of joy, always choose the path of healing, always choose your path, and not choose the path that somebody else wants you to take, or not choose the path that somebody else wants you to go down, unless you can absolutely be trusted that they're guiding you in the right direction. You know, if you have teachers and people and friends and loved ones around you always telling you what you should be doing constantly all the time, then you're never going to be making decisions for yourself. And so allowing yourself to pause and really just like, I literally want to say, just let your own energy wash all over yourself, like just wash you, right? And cleanse you and heal you. And come out of that stagnant desert energy, come out of that really harsh fixed energy, and just surrender. Oh, absolutely. Nine of Wands, surrender. Because we don't want to fight anymore. The Five of Wands, right? We're going towards the victory, Six of Wands. So we want to surrender to the arguments. We want to surrender because really, does it matter whether you're right or wrong? Does it matter whether you're right or the other person's right? Does it actually matter? I mean, if it was life and death, maybe, but if it's over something trivial, which most things are trivial if you really think about it, you guys know. So we're not arguing anymore. Instead, we're trying to see the perspective of other people so that we recognize that everybody's perspective is different. I don't care who you are. My perspective is going to be different than your perspective. Your perspective is going to be different than the person that's standing right next to you. That's just the way it is. We all see the world in the way that we see the world. So your road to victory is about surrendering. Your road to victory is about not fighting. Your road to victory and manifesting is owning your truth, no matter whether you can see it or not. Your new moon is coming up on the 13th. Let's manifest, right? Let's start planting those seeds. Seven of Pentacles, Page of Swords. Let's start planting those seeds and manifesting with that new moon. But in order to do that, you have to release and bring room. And what are you manifesting, you guys? Oh, what did I say? Love, right? And that's going to be coming in pretty quickly for you if you allow your energy to be healed, if you allow yourself to heal your own energy. And the biggest way that you're going to do that is within the reflection, within that pause and reflection. I love you guys. I'm so glad that I got to do your reading first this month. Just really quick, a story. My stepdad's a Pisces, and he and I always sort of butted heads growing up because I have a lot of Virgo energy. My south node is in Pisces. My north node is in Virgo, but my north node is in the 12th house, which is Pisces energy, and my south node is in the 6th house, which is Virgo energy. So it's backwards, right? It's flipped. And I never really got along with Pisces energy until just very recently. And you guys, and I'm going to cry, you guys are some of Like, I really needed some good healing Pisces energy about a week ago, and I just had this huge hug from several Pisces. Like, it was from a distance, but you guys really were able to envelop me in a lot of love and a lot of healing. And so I definitely appreciate that, because I think that all Virgos need a little bit of that softness within them. So I appreciate it probably more now than I ever have. And I just wanted to express that to you guys. And I love you so much. So I hope you have a wonderful birthday season. And thank you for healing all of us. Bye.